This is HR Hidden Ranger Streaming with another reaction video. This one of X-Men Dark Phoenix, an upcoming X-Men movie that'll be in 2019. And it'll have the usual gang of X-people at this point. It'll have people like James McAvoy. It'll have Sophie Turner, I believe, as Jean Grey. Apparently this will be her movie mostly, and have other characters in there. But this movie, I think, was already supposed to come out, but it had been delayed, particularly due to the Fox merger with Disney. So I guess this is one of the last movies that's being made, or one of the last X-Men movies that's being made by 20th Century Fox, and then soon it'll be merged into the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe in some way. And I have no idea how that's going to happen. And well, let's put it this way: we didn't see, we didn't anticipate the way that Spider-Man was integrated into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So there's no telling how they pull it off with X-Men. But anyway, let's get the show on the road, and let's see what we got here. Because honestly, I actually know very little about this particular movie. I don't know what they're going to do. I just know that it's about the Dark Phoenix, and that's it. Oh, and that it's taking place taking place in the 90s instead of the 60s, 70s, or 80s like the previous movies, but we'll see. Alright, let's get this show on the road.
You think you can fix me?
Jean, you are not broken.
This is the end, beautiful friend.
The mind is a fragile thing. Takes only the slightest tap to tip it in the wrong direction.
This is the end.
Charles, what did you do?
I had to keep her stable. I protected her.
From the truth? There's another word for that.
I came looking for answers.
You feel like you don't belong here. You don't. They can't begin to comprehend what you are.
She's changing.
And what?
You didn't come here looking for answers. You came here looking for permission. Jean. She's all rage, pain, and it's all coming out at once.
Jean lost control, but she's still our friend.
This is your fault, Charles. The world is on the brink. I'm sorry I didn't stop it sooner.
You're always sorry, Charles, and there's always a speech.
And nobody cares. There's still hope. Don't do this.
They're right to fear me.
I've seen evil. And I'm looking at it now.
So that'll be a happy Valentine's Day. That comes out on February 14th, 2019. Wows. That was interesting. First of all, I don't know, first thing to that I attracted my attention, or at least something that was okay, that it certainly is a choice, is the fact that now all the X-Men have a unified, homogenized costume that's just like a black bodysuit with an X logo on it. Let's see. Oh, hey, I can't believe I actually landed on it. Okay. Uh, wow. Like, I can't decide if this is basically if they're basically going with the idea of having their costumes headed in the direction of the black leather, almost completely devoid of color X-Men uniforms that we saw in the first X-Men movie in 2001. Or just the idea that, like, I don't think I would have minded if those X-Men costumes from 2001 had just been something like this, if they were going for a unified look. Just, like black costumes with, like, distinctive and, very noticeable yellow X's on them. Like, I mean, I feel like they could have done a lot better. Like, I kind of liked the costumes that they had in the previous movie, or at least the uniforms that they had at the end of it that looked like kind of that like looked like updated sort of versions of the X-Men, of the '90s X-Men cartoon uniforms. I don't know if that makes any sense, but these, yeah, like that certainly is a choice. Yeah, and the original X-Men uniforms from 1963 were also black and yellow or gold or whatever, but the only thing that identified them really as X-Men was just red bed red belt buckles with an X on it. This is kind of taking that idea and just putting it a step or two further. And also, these costumes look a bit, now that I'm thinking about it, they kind of look like the new X-Men costumes from the early 2000s Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely run. And so, yeah, so my verdict on these costumes is that just from what tiny bit I'm seeing, I don't hate it. I don't completely love it. It just seems like, okay, well, that's a choice they're going with. Not sure why they decided to for this particular movie, but sure, let's go with it. Let's see. Oh, young. Geez, extreme close up. So yeah, this is yet another child actress playing Jean Grey, and yeah, she's going for like it kind of looks like she's going to have a more expanded section of the section or sections of the movie as this actress, for flashbacks rather than just being like, just briefly a child for the start of the movie and then, cutting to present day from there. It looks like this is going to be a lot about what Jean was going through. And it's really, and like, I guess they're really going for it. The idea that Jean's just basically going full supervillain. And they got Sophie Turner looking noticeably a lot older than she did in First Class and in Game of Thrones. Like, like they're actually making an attempt, I don't know how successfully, to age them as if they're now in their mid to late 20s because, hey, a decade has passed. But, I say that, and then here's I'm blanking on the actor's name, Nick something, as beast, and looks like he hasn't aged a day over what he was in X-Men First Class, which was set in the 60s.
What did you do?
I had to keep her stable. I protected her.
I have to say, I really liked that shot of Charles wheeling into Cerebro, because I haven't seen that before. Like, this completely overhead shot that starts from one end and goes to the other. Like, yeah, that's a really striking image. That's interesting. I like that. That's cool. It's a neat bit of cinematography.
From the truth?
And this kind of surprised the crap out of me. Because she just, like, I guess carelessly killed her parents? Holy balls? Like, I suppose it's on a similar level as Jean Grey's origin in the comics, which was when she was 10, she had this childhood friend named, I think it was Annie Richardson, and like one day, like Annie was like those who were playing in the front yard. Annie chased a ball out into the street. She got hit by a car and died almost immediately afterwards. And Jean telepathically felt her die, and it traumatized her, so badly that Charles Xavier was the only one who could help her with her telepathy. And I'm guessing they're playing on a similar kind of tragedy.
There's another word for that.
I wonder what this is.
I came looking for answers.
Oh yeah, okay. That's where Fassbender's Magneto is hanging out. He seems to have this tendency to, like, or at least for the past couple of movies, to, like, leave and then kind of go live in peace for a while until something drags him back into being Magneto.
You feel like you don't belong here. You don't.
I don't know who the blonde is. Like, is that supposed to be yet another version of Emma Frost? I somehow doubt it, because Emma died in First Class, or she didn't die in First Class, but she was, like, hunted by Sentinels in between movies.
You don't. They can't be.
Yes, and there is Cyclops, played by Ty Sheridan. He is, he's, they definitely bulked him up, not quite to 90s Jim Lee X-Men animated series proportions, but, somewhat reminiscent of that. He looks like that is one way to make him look, older than the awkward teenager he was in the previous movie.
Begin to comprehend.
And there's Quicksilver and Storm. I gotta say, Alexandra Shipp, that's the actress's name. I like her as Storm. Like, she did a lot better job than Halle Berry, I thought. And hopefully they'll continue to give her stuff to do in these movies, because she's interesting.
What you are.
She's changing.
And what?
You didn't come here looking for answers. You came here looking for permission.
Permission to whoop some ass.
Jean. She's all rage. Pain. And it's all coming out at once. Jean lost control, but she's still our friend.
This is your fault, Charles.
Ooh, wait. That was something that I missed the first time. Like, I saw that Charles was reaching for a glass, and then somebody whapped it out of his hand, but I didn't. But like it went by so fast, I didn't quite notice who it was he was sitting with. But that's Hank reacting. That's Hank getting pissed at Charles and knocking it out of his knocking it away from him. And these this looks like it has him like they look like they're dressed for the funeral, or for a funeral, or at least the aftermath of a funeral or a wake, I guess. So yikes. I mean, I suppose I could like dissect this trailer frame by frame, but you know, I don't necessarily feel the need to do that. But I am intrigued by quite a bit of what's happening here, because like I said, I didn't know anything about. I knew next to nothing about this trailer, and I'm kind of fascinated by what I'm seeing.
The world is on the brink.
And of course, that was what's Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique. I mean, they still got her in these movies. This might be the last one she's in, but then, like I said, you know, we have no idea what Marvel Studios is going to do with these movies.
I'm sorry, I didn't stop it sooner.
You're always sorry, Charles, and there's always a speech.
But nobody cares.
Okay. I like that. Like, I love Michael Fassbender's Magneto. Like, Ian McKellen's Magneto was great as well, but yeah, Fassbender's Magneto has been the best part of these reconstituted timeline X-Men movies, starting with First Class. I mean, he's just always brought his A game, and I really like that. You know, like there's always this, like, you're always sorry, Charles. You always give a speech, and nobody cares. He's like, yeah. I figure if anybody's tired of Charles's crap, it would be Magneto, and looks like we're reaching a point where everyone else is tired of his crap as well. That's fascinating. And of course, you know, Magneto is going to be, you know, the least tactful about it. You know, he's just going to call him on his nonsense.
There's still hope.
Oh, okay. Oh, holy crap. Is that a new version of the Brotherhood with a certain beast on it? I don't know who the other two are, but that's clearly Magneto and Beast, like, opposing Charles and the X-Men. Yeah, I'm really curious about who these two characters are, the woman and the kind of short, broad-shouldered man. Like, they kind of remind me of the Omega Gang from X-Men: The Last Stand. Basically, that gang of mutants that Magneto filled his ranks with when he got the Brotherhood to oppose the mutant cure. These kind of seem like similar characters. So yeah, I wonder who they're going to be. That's interesting. Like I said, I don't know anything, and I don't know anything about this, and that's cool. Like, I'm genuinely not the kind of comic book fan who, you know, strenuously objects to deviations from the source material. I mean, some of some of them I have misgivings about or I have difficulties with, but you know, for the most part, like, give me something I haven't seen in the comics. You know, do something where I can't immediately guess where you're going with it, even if I've seen the same storyline. You know, like, you know, I don't necessarily want to be a know-it-all about every aspect of this. So,
Don't do this.
They're right to fear me.
yeah, Oh wow, that's certainly Phoenixy. I'll just uh, I'll just leave it on that image. So, um, this has been HR with Hidden Ranger Streaming, and another reaction video. This one, X Men Dark Phoenix Saga. I have no idea whether this movie is going to be good or bad, or because like the reputation of the past few ones has been shaky at best. Like I actually have a higher opinion of X Men Apocalypse than most people do, and that's mostly wasn't fond of Apocalypse, but I did like what happened, what was going on with the kids, or with Storm and Jean and Cyclops and Nightcrawler. Like I thought they were nice, and I wanted to see more of them. And like I said, don't know too much about this. What I saw of the trailer, I'm fascinated by. Don't know if it's good, don't know if it's bad, but interesting. All right, so leave a comment, subscribe, drop a like, follow me on Twitter at HR Streaming, and I'll be back with another with another reaction video soon, depending on what I find to react to, and also I'm continuing my usual series of my current series of playthroughs of Marvel Spider-Man for PS4, and I'm not doing one tonight, maybe tomorrow night, but yeah, I'm just kind of a bit worn out from work today. So, but yeah, probably tomorrow I'll say 12:30 or 12:30 a.m. or later. So that kind of thing. All right. Have a good one, guys. Bye.